Joining us today at the Social Justice Summit. We're ready for our next presentation. We're going to be discussing social equity in cannabis with Mariah Dodson, who's our guest today and speaker. Mariah, before I pass it to her to give her some of her background, she's an amazing leader. She's a veteran and she's an amazing spiritual healer and source of energy. So with that, why don't I let her introduce herself and tell us how you got started in the cannabis social equity.
Yay! Hey guys, my name is Mariah. I'm super excited to be here today and talk to you guys a little bit more about social equity in cannabis, which is an incredible, impactful topic that we all need to be aware about. I myself started in the industry about 5 years ago. Started consulting, ended up scoring some licenses and conditional use permits for cultivation and manufacturing, and then have continued to evolve to Los Angeles Social Equity Program, where we are now pending delivery. Thankful for some progressive policy that the city has passed. So I'm really excited to continue my journey in cannabis and hoping to inspire you to get involved too.
Thank you, that's great. So for those of you guys that aren't aware, social equity in cannabis is actually, some cities and states have adopted an actual formal program that provides economic and workforce development resources for some equity applicants, people or people that have been impacted by the war on drugs or even arrested because of minor cannabis crimes. With that, there is no one size fits all, and there is no requirement, right, to have social equity in cannabis. But aside from what it means from politically, before we get to the more programmatic level, what does social equity in cannabis look like to you and mean to you?
Wow. Definitely. I love this question. I think social equity is a commitment to fairness in the real world. In cannabis, it is a commitment to the rejuvenation of our communities, the rejuvenation of our people who have been so negatively impacted and decimated by the war on drugs. So social equity is the opportunity that we are given to push forward, to seize the opportunity and to create generational wealth from where we are at, knowing that the opportunities are endless and we can truly, we can have whatever we dream of through this industry being the economic engine behind it. So that's
great. So I mean, I know it's always such a broad question, so many angles to social equity. So a lot of it depends on what you need, right, as an individual, whether you're either starting in the cannabis industry and have no background, or you're an experienced, quote unquote, traditional market operator, legacy operator that's now having to do it right? There's a lot of compliance and just regulatory framework that is required in getting a license. So maybe you can discuss a little bit of the challenges that some of the applicants, whether social equity or not, that just comes with this industry.
Okay, absolutely. So one thing I always like to point out is that cannabis is one of the most highly regulated, if not the most highly regulated industry in the world, almost as regulated as nuclear waste, to put that in perspective. So we have an entire pre-application process that we have to go through, and which requires buildings, architectural plans, and a lot of stuff. We also have an application process which requires approval from city councils, security plans, staffing plans, business plans. So it's an intense process, and you can do it. I definitely suggest that you surround yourself with a team. Not having a team will pose an unneeded challenge that a lot of us have had to go through and push through. So learn from our struggles. Surround yourself with a team so that you can go through those challenges and processes with people that you trust and can continue to push you forward.
Good. So on that note, as far as the team, I think we've heard that a few times, just talking to people about what it takes in this cannabis industry, but especially as someone as a minority, black and brown individual and a woman, we want to make sure that those resources are truly geared to what we need. So what programs have you seen or resources are out there that maybe you can recommend to other individuals such as yourself?
Absolutely. Well, Social Equity LA is an incredible resource. That's the first and foremost, especially when having to go through a Los Angeles social equity program, just to have, a community that's next to you helping guide you. So one of the major ones that the city has put forth is the Los Angeles Social Equity Program, and the program helps with workforce development, offers hopefully pretty soon some grants, and then an opportunity to compete in the market with licensing that is a little cheaper than traditional licensing. So those are some great programs. There's also, those are some great programs.
Well, thank you. On that note, there are resources that the city has put together finally, and then there's other governments, but also to your point, there's the nonprofit, the private sector, such as Social Equity LA, that we add an additional layer of support, right, from what the government may provide to being able to give you that true hands-on feeling or knowing of what it takes, right, especially like working with others, and that ties into some of the goals that I know you have and that we have as we look to work together. So maybe you can discuss what you look to do in the cannabis industry, both for yourself and other social equity applicants.
Absolutely. So we are currently working on a delivery license, and that is an exciting journey. I'm really excited to continue to push forth with that. And with that, we are trying to, number one, first be advocate for the plant, advocate for the industry, so others know that they can do it too. They can get involved and create opportunities for themselves, their families, and their communities. And then through this delivery service, to be able to connect with other BIPOC-owned companies and brands. Therefore, we can really support each other, not just as a community, but on the economic side as well.
All right. Well, I like that. That's great. So, there's a lot of great information, and we can continue this forever. There's so much support that's needed, and I know we, working with Mariah with Social Equity Enterprises and Social Equity LA, are going to continue to provide tours for you virtually for other sites, and we have some partners that are already in the industry, retailers and cultivators, that we're lining up some things for you guys, as well as just more education and policy work, particularly to make sure that the city is doing it right, and others that are coming online are making sure that their social equity program is good to go. So with that, I thank you so much for your time, and look forward to working together.
Yes, thank you so much. Have a great day, guys.